I got to remember why I started making these videos. I started them for my own therapy, not yours. Thought I'd overdone it this morning in wearing this jacket. Truth of the fact is I'm wearing this jacket because out of all the kit that I've got, this is one of the more flattering bits of kit. It's still pretty cold this morning because it's quite early, because I've got to get back to take Zach to his first football match. He's been playing in the local team, or training with the local team. Do you think it's towards the end of the football season? Know nothing about football. So they've given him a match and he's really excited. So, well, as excited as Zach gets. He's not one of those kids. Indy, it's like a firecracker. Zach's like a submarine, just cruises along. But it is still relatively early and a bit fresh, so maybe I wore the right jacket. But I think we'll do a catch up. Not a huge amount's changed really since the time trial last week. So whenever I make these videos, I have to think about what the video's about. Obviously, I'm sure you're aware of that, and I haven't done a huge amount in the last week in terms of training. So why am I making this video? Well, I got to remember why I started making these videos 4 years ago. Almost to the week, I think. I'll double check. But I started making them for my own therapy, not yours. I had to remember that and make no apology for it. As the channel's grown, on occasion I have made the content, you know, for the audience, and that's fine because I enjoy doing that. But when it's like this, I think to myself, well, why am I going to make a video for somebody to watch about triathlon or bike riding or whatever when I haven't actually done very much? Actually, these videos aren't really for you, they're for me. So this week has been making some inroads, positive inroads. I've been out for a couple of runs, I think, or maybe one run. I haven't been swimming, haven't been out on the bike. But it's starting to feel like the build is coming together. In fact, why don't we cut here a second and I'll talk you through the things that we've done in the office, because it's very easy over a month's work to forget all the things that you've managed to achieve, I think. And as good as it is to make a list, you know, before a job, it's also a really good idea sometimes to make a list during or after a job, because you forget loads of things. So very quickly, let's have a look at what I've been up to and where we're at with the build, because it's feeling like we're getting to the point where we can actually use the spaces. They're not going to be finished. Mentally, I think that's half the battle. You know, I've got to remember that I've got to get these spaces up and useful rather than finished, because it's going to take a while. And I need to reset the coffers a bit to be able to afford to do the last bits. Morning. So let's have a quick look at where we're at. Starting on the outside then quickly, that end bit I've just clad with some what they call gravel board, 100mm, 150mm gravel board. It's what you get at the bottom of fences, because it's treated. If you sand it down, it looks pretty good, and I got the idea of using this as cladding from some people on YouTube called the Restoration Couple. So I'll put a link to their videos here. So inside the office now, okay, so look, actually not an awful lot's changed in this end, to be honest with you, apart from a couple of things. I mean, first of all, it's a bit of a tool store, a bit of a junk site at the minute, and this is my desk, obviously, that I normally work from, that was usually over here. What have we done? Not a huge amount, like I say. One of the things we have done, or I have done, is sealed these walls so that they're not flaking anymore. This wall was built in the 50s. The one in there was built in the 1930s, and yeah, they need a little bit of looking after. So all these walls have been sealed now. What else have we done in here? I have put in this stud wall that you can see here, and put in this patio door that then leads through into that bit that we'll see in a minute. But apart from that, there's not an awful lot more done. You can see inside here the newer timbers. all the way along the run here. The sort of lighter ones are in between each of the old joists, and it is a work of beauty all the way along. And then, oh yeah, I have done some more stuff in here. This used to be a doorway here, as you can see, and a crappy old window in there that was really unsecure. So I have built this window frame, blocked up these doors. Barky dogs. It's raining out there at the minute. I still haven't got the guttering up, but you can see from this angle here that this window is angled. So this is basically what they do at recording studios to cut down on both sound and light reflections. Obviously, you get it in bridges on ships and in aircraft, what they call them, control towers as well, air traffic control towers. Basically, the idea being that you don't get any reflections. If you have a look there, you can see there's no reflection there, because essentially the reflection would be from up here, which, as you can see, is dark because it's angled up that way. That's the whole point of doing that, and I'm going to do the same in there, which I'll talk about in just a minute. But that is about all we've done in here. Not a huge amount more than just seal the walls, move a few things around. Coffee machine's going there. This table, well, this was our family table when we lived in Strode Road, the old house, before we moved here. I then cut it down into a breakfast bar, and now it's going to be cut in half and then run along there as a little coffee bar, because the coffee machine's going on the old G-plan sideboard there. That's about it in here. So then through the patio doors, we go into this bit here, which I've shown a little bit of before. Like I said previously, this door's going, and another angled window, the same as that one's going in here, longer, slightly longer, so I can see out into the garden. And then the training end, yeah, treadmills there. Electrics are run, but they're not fixed in, second fix yet, but all the trunking's in for all the cabling for that one. Just got to do the same for the turbo trainer coming down there, because at the minute I can't use my turbo. That is a priority. I think that's really job number one. This runner stud work's gone and it's insulated. Used metal stud work for the first time ever. In certain circumstances, it's the most incredible thing I've ever used. I think it took me 15 minutes to put in something that would have taken me maybe half a day. It was so easy. You run a U channel along the floor to begin with, all the way along, using a laser line or a string line, and then you put the uprights in at the end of each end. Just put them in, twist them, click, and then you put the upright, the top run in, and then you put the other metal bits in and click them in, and then you put the insulation in, plasterboard on the front, screw it through, and it is done. Where you can see that plywood there, and it runs a little bit further along this way, and it will run right to the wall. That's where the worktop's going, with the tool wall there, toolbox underneath it. A couple of bikes, sort of probably the Metabones and the TT bike on the walls there, but also some weights and things like that. But that'll also be where this space here, when all this crap's gone, will be where the bikes will be repaired, and then the bikes will all be stored along this wall here, when all these tools and the Bex and the kids' bikes and all this stuff goes in the outside shed that's going in the corner of the garden over there. That's pretty much in here. I've got some lights in here, which I can see myself training in these conditions, working hard, giving it the big Euro triathlete vibe. I don't think so. I think we'll probably stick mainly to this vibe, to be honest with you. Although there are some nicer chill colours and things like that. But anyway, that's pretty much what we got in here. However, one last thing to show you. That far end where you can see the window at the minute, because this door is going, that far end will be the door going in there, and I'm going to show you a bit out there just very quickly. So this cladding idea here that you can see, it's going to run in between all of these brick pillars as well, with insulation behind it. So the insulation for the building is going to be behind it. Still got to put the guttering up once I've painted all this along here. This is what the window looks like from the outside. That's how far the cladding is going to stick out. So 50mm insulation, and then 22mm board on the front. The board should run all the way flush underneath that. There's the window from the other side. That's the door that's going. And then down this far end, so this area here, there's a back gate. This area here is going to be a covered, just sort of outdoor but covered, a bit like the barbecue area. In a minute I'll show you that in a sec. A covered area just with
corrugated roof to clean the bikes and sort of hang the wetsuits out to dry. There'll be a rail running along there, just somewhere to get all that done. Underneath this tarpaulin's a security door that I got off Facebook Marketplace. I got most, to be honest with you, like patio doors and all the extra bits and pieces. I've either made stuff or I've got it off Facebook Marketplace. Most of it hasn't been new. I've either built it or got it for cheap. But essentially what we'll do is cut where that crappy old Perspex window is at the minute. That will become a new doorway with the security door on the front. It's electric, but you can kind of do it manually as well. But that'll be the only two entrances. Will be the far end, the electric one that's been in there for a while, and this end, and then those two doors on the side will be the same. And then that, folks, will be it. We can bring bikes in through here, and then we can clean them here, and then we can put them in straight in there then, and everything will be absolutely dandy. So yeah, the idea being that it will look a bit like this covered barbecue area that you actually haven't seen yet, which I built whilst Bob was doing something on the roof I couldn't do. Just simple 4-inch fence posts with some concrete, cement corrugated tops. Still needs finishing, obviously, and then we'll put in a bar area here, and then a bit along the back here to put drinks and things on. Going to build a pizza oven to go in here, and put in a barbecue here. I'm going to try and make it out of cement. I'm going to make like a cement worktop, and then all the way along here, once we've got rid of all this, we're bench seating along here and here with a table, and then a fire pit here, and then down the end there will be the shed that all the bikes and things go in. Garden tour. Wasn't expecting it to be a garden tour. Look at that roof. It's a thing of beauty. And a fabulous palm tree. All right, mate? Having a nice time? Playing catch on your own there, kid.
Okay, so that's that bit, right? So now I'm out on my bike. Can't come out for too long. Got about another 40 minutes, and I've been out for 30, so about an hour and 10, not much. What do you do in an hour and 10? Well, you can sit on the turbo, which I can't at the minute because I haven't got one set up, or you can come out and do an easy ride, which, you know, 70 minutes of easy riding, good for recovery if you've been training hard, but I haven't. So I thought I'd come out and do something a little bit tempo-y, which is why I've got a little bit laboured breathing. Tempo at the moment for me is really based on RPE, rate of perceived exertion, because I haven't done much. I don't really know where my power numbers are, and I don't really know where my heart rate is. But what I'm doing is just coming out and riding for an hour, bloody fly, like in Indiana Jones, you know, Belloc. Indy's got that bazooka.
Hello? You're going to give mercenaries a bad name.
So what I'm doing is riding at what I think I could hold for sort of 4 hours if I was riding hard. Now there is a reason for this. My brother emailed me the other day to say that for this London to Paris thing, we need to be seeded. I missed my turning. We need to be seeded into groups for speed, which is obvious, and I have to get that information to them by the end of May. And what you have to do is a 100k ride, and my brother's done his, and he's clearly been training very consistently because he managed to hold something in the highest 26s, I think, which is brilliant. I kind of would have hoped that that's where I would be at just before we went on the ride, and he's not riding in a group, he's riding on his own, so he's clearly doing very well. And I only have a couple of weeks to post that 100k ride, and hopefully we'll be in the same group because I'm way behind him at the minute in terms of fitness. Let's take this left instead. It takes me up past the awesome Belgian church, the little chapel. So that's where I'm at the minute. So in the next couple of weeks, gonna have to get some pretty hardcore training done, get that 100k ride posted, and hopefully I'll be somewhere north of 25k an hour. But I do have a plan. I'm not starting at zero. I've just been off the boil for the last month now, so it's not not like I'm starting from scratch. And the legs today feel good. They don't feel in any way like I've become insanely out of condition, you know, on the little rises and stuff, even though I'm heavier than I wanted to be. It doesn't feel too bad. And we're at the chapel. I do love that building. It's kind of like they forgot to build the rest of it. It's only about 20 foot long. Anywho, I've got a plan for next week. Have to see if logistically it will pull off. In terms of doing some intensity and volume, but that's for next week. I think if there's one thing I've learned over the last month is just to keep the faith, trust the process, and just be aware that, you know, if you've done it before, you can do it again. And yeah, okay, maybe the mind isn't quite where it needs to be to do everything that you want to do. If you prove to yourself before that you've done it, then you just got to try and find the right combination of switches to flick. But I'm going to carry on with this ride. I'm going to push it for the last, whatever it is, 30 minutes. Just try and focus on riding a bit harder than I usually would. So I'm going to sign off from this video. Thanks for watching my narcissistic therapy video. And I hope you have a good week, and hopefully see you out on the road. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed, do so. Hit the notifications bell, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, let me know how you're getting on, tell me how much better than me you are. I'll see you on the next video. Take it easy and stay safe, yeah?